You got big dreams? I know you do. But there's that little voice, or maybe for you, it might be a big old choir saying, nah, you can't do that. You can't accomplish that. Guess what? Today we're diving into the sneaky little world of self-sabotage so that you can stop letting it run the show. Hey, fabulous people. I'm Nando, the go-to performance coach for entrepreneurs and coders who are so tired of having their own excuses holding them back. And in this channel, we crush self-doubt, we smash procrastination, and we get you ready for the next level you. Number one, what exactly is self-sabotage? I got you. It's when you unconsciously act in ways that sabotages your own success or happiness. Think of it this way. You set goals with this hand, but then you tear them down with this one. I know, like who would do that? Well, you are. And that's why it's called self-sabotage. And I want to help you minimize that. I want to help you stop that. Let's say you want to find a new job, or maybe you want to start dating again. Well, in the job situation, you might have to brush up your LinkedIn profile, maybe rewrite and revamp your resume, but it just seems so overwhelming. In the case of dating, you might have to take some new photos, some selfies, right? Create a whole profile. And both situations, both scenarios might start to feel overwhelming, and you start to procrastinate. So then you avoid doing the thing. And so your goals never get accomplished. So already procrastination, avoiding, overwhelm, all those are self-sabotage mechanisms. Number two, how does self-sabotage actually show up in life? This is the juicy part. It actually shows up as the overwhelm, or it shows up as the overthinking, or better yet, it shows up as perfectionism. So you might say to yourself, I'm not gonna do photos until I lose weight, or I get that haircut, or until the blemish clears up, right? Like we will use we will use any excuse to avoid doing the thing. But there's fear there. So that's how it actually shows up, right? And regardless of how it shows up, the main point is it stops you from achieving the goal. So let me share this with you. Yesterday, I was on a group coaching call. One client raised his hand and said, I have so much overwhelm. I want some coaching. And so the other clients started giving him suggestions. His complaint was, or his situation was that he's a ghostwriter and he had taken on too much work. And so now he's overwhelmed. And because of the overwhelm, he hasn't touched the work, and he's watching baseball games at night. And he's staying up late. So when he wakes up in the morning, he's groggy, he's cranky, he's moody, and he doesn't feel like working. So the cycle just repeats. You see how self-sabotage works. So here's the best part. So the different clients were giving him different tips. Like, oh, well, easy. Go speak to your clients and say, hey, I'm going to move the deadline that I had promised. And he was like, no, that's not going to work because da-da-da-da. So then another suggestion, okay, well then maybe stop watching the games and plan your schedule. Well, that's not going to work because I need motivation, and the games is what motivate. All right, so he shot that down. And as they kept giving him more and more tips or suggestions, he just kept shooting them all down. And because I work with this client, I already knew, one, he's a high achiever, two, he's a people pleaser, and three, he's an avoider. And as I'm telling you this, you can probably see all those three things sprinkled into the situation and why he was saying no, and how he manifests these self-sabotaging routines or mechanisms in his life to compound the overwhelm and the overthinking and the avoiding. You can see it, right? Because here's the thing with self-sabotage. You can't see it, but everyone out there can see it. Finally, somebody said, hey, time out. Can you just write these suggestions down? You don't have to take them. You don't have to use them. Just your resistance is so high, which is also a sabotage mechanism. Your resistance is so high. Can you just write these down and just receive the information? And he totally got that, right? He totally got it. And some of you are like that. You'll watch a video or you'll get somebody's advice and you're like, yeah, that's not going to work for me. Well, consider that that's also part of self-sabotage, is that resistance. Remember, self-sabotage, one hand creates the goal and the other one tears it down. So is there any hope when it comes to self-sabotage? Absolutely. I wouldn't do what I do unless there was any hope. So it brings us to step 3. Here's some practical steps to kick self-sabotage to the curb. 1 is awareness. You got to know what saboteur is coming up and scratching and clawing and tearing down those goals or those dreams. 2, a mindset shift. You got to be open to receive the suggestions. Okay? And 3, you got to take action. You just can't sit there and avoid everything. I know, it seems overwhelming. You're overwhelmed, you're overthinking, you want it to be perfect. You got to take action because progress is better than perfection. And I'll just say this right now. It is not an overnight switch. When the self-sabotage gene is in us, and if you're human, you got it. Happy birthday. It's not an overnight thing. It's something you got to work on and practice every single day, especially when you start to recognize your saboteurs. You're like, oh, there you are, Mr. Resistance. Or, I feel the procrastination coming on, or the perfectionism, right? You got to start being aware. So here is your next move. Take the self-sabotage assessment. It's absolutely free. I'm going to link a link at the bottom in the description so you can take it. So you can know which of the 9 saboteurs are your top 3. I usually just work with the top 3 with my clients because they're the ones that are totally scratching and clawing to come out. Because, hey, it's time for you to step into your brilliance and stop letting those sneaky patterns take over your life and tear down your goals. Oh, and if you like this video, please subscribe, share it with somebody, and leave me a comment. What resonated the most? And also, leave me a comment if you took the assessment. I'm so interested to see if you took it. And we'll see you next time. All right.